Oh, I'm just taking it in. Please give me a moment. Anyway, I am Frank Dice, Principal Cloud Architect at Major League Baseball, and I do cloud architecture and FinOps. Essentially, I'm a plumber. The data flows, and we keep it flowing, and then those leaks come in, and you gotta patch them. So please feel free to laugh and make reactions. Booze, did you all get tomatoes? They were handing those? Okay. Budget cuts. I apologize, no tomatoes this year. Anyway, budget cuts hit us all. So this is my second year at FinOps X, first year as a speaker. I started way back when my career in tech. I started at help desk. I was a Perl programmer. I was a systems administrator. I rolled into DevOps. I was back as a systems administrator. And that repeated a couple more times as well. But long story short, it got me to where I am today. And I run cloud architecture and FinOps at Major League Baseball. So our agenda for today, long story short, we are going to talk about the history of MLB FinOps. We're going to look at what we are currently doing, and then hopefully dropping some facts to see what you can take from it. And that's what I really want. I know a lot of this might be repeat, a lot of this might be stuff you know, but it's that one little thing when you pick up from a conference is what makes the trip all worthwhile. And I know that happened to me last year, and that's why I'm excited to be up here. So MLB's FinOps journey, an overview. First off, we're talking about MLB. Quick question before I start. By show of hands, who knows what baseball is? Yes. All right, next question. Who's played baseball before? Probably not professionally, but okay. I love that. It's always exciting. So MLB has 30 clubs. We play 2,430 games in our regular season. And I have some statistics from 2013 because we haven't publicly released anything for 2014 and 2015 yet. We had 70 million people attending games in 2023. And we had 172 million minutes watched on opening day. Now, I don't know what those are in 2024 and 2025, but I can say I'm gainfully employed, so you can figure it out from there. Anyway, you might be wondering, what do you do? And the short answer is, it's all the things the 30 MLB clubs don't want to do, or you'd just be overlapping everything as you go. So things such as MLB.com and all of the club sites, where we host the framework where the clubs can put the content in. And we also have the mobile apps. We also do all of the streaming and the logistics behind that, including video encoding, video cutting, highlights, distribution, and that covers both B2B and the B2C use cases. And the one thing that any baseball fan is interested in, statistics for everything. I have to say my favorite fact is when we upgraded the ball tracking system. Initially, we were able to guess and estimate the trajectory of the ball. Now the cameras are so fast that we can see the laces, and we have perfect accuracy on every single pitch that's thrown. And that's 20 plus data points for each single pitch. And I just think that's really cool. So now let's get into the reason we're here, FinOps. So FinOps, MLB's program officially started in 2023. And originally, it was just an ad hoc duty of mine. Hey, why is this spend so much? Why are we over budget? We don't have a budget, but we're over it. Okay, finance team, can you show me the budget? Anyway, I digress. So what we did is I was able to get a FinOps team created and get a little bit of money towards building the program. The initial steps were we pulled in contractors to be able to jumpstart that program and chase the low-hanging fruit. And they helped with all of those tedious items that we are all very familiar with. chasing down people, finding and going to meetings, coordinating, reaching out, finding cost owners. I'm sure that resonates deeply with all of us, unfortunately. And overall, it was quite successful. And now what we do in 2024, our team currently sits with 2 part-timers, myself included. We have Eric, my project manager, who is in the audience. Thank you for everything that you do, Eric. And Monica, my full-time data analyst. And we'll talk a little bit more about how the current team functions a little bit later. Just a quick highlight of resources under management. I am going to read these verbatim. 200 plus Kubernetes clusters, 7,000 plus applications, and a cloud platform team of 5. And the cloud platform team does DevOps, CI/CD, IAC, ETC, and so on and so forth. And we also have 20 petabytes in GCS across 4 clouds, and we're doing this with a cloud platform team of 5. So we take shift left very seriously, and that's the reason I'm up here, and I'm excited to be here today. How do you establish a cost visibility framework? I'm sure we've all seen this. This is the org chart I pulled from my internal documentation about 6 hours ago. Anyway, this isn't far off from where we've started, and I feel like we have a reorg every 6 to 9 months, and that keeps things interesting. And I'm serious about the 6 to 9 month reorgs. So we simplified it. We took quite a bit from the FinOps Foundation, and how we did it was we started from the bottom up. Our primary cloud is GCP, so we were able to get named owners of every single GCP project, and then we're able to roll those up into business units. Then we combine business units into sectors, and then you can see where the sectors go in the clouds. It's not rocket science. It's creating the business units, and the business units being the focus of the people who have to fix the problems, and the sector owners are the people who pay for it. Pretty straightforward, very easy delineation, especially when you start looking at the web that is a normal org chart. And just to put it simply, business unit, you aggregate the apps, sector is the bill payer, and it's flexible. It does let us easily move and shift things around as we reorg pretty regularly. I just want to go over a bit of history on cost analysis as well. I am going to just highlight a few of these steps, but I did actually make this slide when I was going through my old notes before we got anywhere. And the ones I want to pull out are reach out to the team, reach back out for clarification, metrics, more metrics, and it all ends up in a Google Sheet. That sound familiar? Yep. So, cost analysis today. This doesn't look like much, but every single bar represents a business unit. And each one of those business units is tied to that named business unit owner. And those business units, guess what they do? They roll up into the sector. I know, weird. So in our primary cloud, GCP, we do have 100% cost allocation by projects, thanks to Finout. And while this isn't an advertisement, I'm second year using the platform, and if you do want to talk to them, please go see them down in the expo hall. I'm very happy. Anyway, how this particular chart is set up. So in Finout, we define virtual tags, which are a logical grouping of literally anything in the billing data. In this case, we're doing project ID and for a couple use cases, organization ID, depending on what we're doing with the clubs at the time. So those project IDs get mapped to business units, get mapped to sectors, and they're all there by virtual tags, being able to exclude, include, group them together, and slice and dice on top of that. And yeah, fun fact, in our largest cloud in GCP, we have 100% ownership of cloud costs in that platform. And that's something I am very proud of. How do we drive accountability with automation at scale? So many questions. So many questions, so many different answers. You have to sit back and think, what do you need to report on? What do you want to report on? And who are you going to share the data with? Needs are generally around the business. What is that business focus? The short answer is, where does your company make revenue? And that is an excellent starting point for that question. What do you want to report on? That goes into KPIs or any interesting metric. One that I'm still chasing down is cost per baseball game per day per virtual tag of my business units. And oddly enough, we're still working on it, but the cost doesn't change on how many games are played per day, which is a big problem that we need to look into. But such is life. And then coming back to the what's important to the business, it's figuring out how to ask that question in the right way. Because you ask 5 people, you're getting 6 answers. And how I've come to ask the question is, what are those bullet points that your SVPs or above are going to say drive the business? Not technical, no metrics, just what are those user stories at such a high level where you're able to introspect and build out from there? And that's an interesting point to start on if you haven't had that user story conversation with leadership. And accountability buddies. This is, I think, my favorite slide. One big thing is, if you don't know your audience, fake it. Seriously. What you do in those meetings is pay attention and notice who's speaking up, who has an opinion, and then reach out and have regular cadences with that person. I promise you, it is very useful, and I'll get into that a little bit later too. The second one, a centralized platform that everyone can look at. So MLB does use Finout as our single pane of glass, and please, if someone has a better acronym than SPOG, please let me know. I'm not kidding. Anyway, why Finout? At one point, I had a contractor and a half working on dashboards and jamming data in and doing metrics and putting it all together. And it became an absolute huge time sink. So we took the shift left approach, reached out, did several POCs, and ended up with Finout. And not only are we saving money, but we're able to provide the better user experience, both for our devs and for our leadership. And the third item here, accurate and actionable data. This is the most important piece. Data needs to be easy to use. You need to trust that your data is accurate, and your users need to trust you. Confidence in a platform is absolutely massive. Things are going to go wrong. It's inevitable. Make sure that you empower those around you. Speak up if they see something wrong. If there's anything inconsistent, it's having those allies with those extra set of eyes to be able to go out and, hey, there's a minor discrepancy in my observability bill. All right, let's go take a look at it and see what that could be. And it helps keep you in front of the conversation instead of behind. And keeping leadership and teams aligned. Let's keep this simple. Keeping everyone aligned is difficult. And here's a few key takeaways I've found off of that too. As I mentioned, looking at that same data set, your developer to your SVP to your middle managers to the FinOps team are looking at the same data sets, these same dashboards, and being able to see the numbers. There's no black magic, there's no secrecy. The number is the number is the number. And with this room of FinOps practitioners, the number may be the number, but there's also the story that you get to tell on top of it. And that, I'm going to leave that to either another talk or yourselves to figure out, because that is a whole session on its own. Moving on, open communication with everyone. We regularly connect with those business units and sector leaders every 6 months. This is also a great time when you're talking with them to confirm the projects, to confirm their applications, and make sure everything's working. And one bonus, one great takeaway, is ask them what they want. Is there something you want to see? Even if it's a silly idea that you don't think you're going to action on, write it down, put it in your backlog, and if it ever comes up in months, years, it's getting to the years point now. That's awesome. That's a microphone, I can't touch that. And it's fun being able to reflect on the program while I'm up here. So I'm enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying this. But yeah, it's being able to have that informal feedback, because when you eventually bring that in, and then you get to tell that person, hey, your idea directly brought this into the platform, and now everybody's using it or everybody has visibility to it. It's just that little extra bit of trust and relationship building that you're able to do through, I just took a note and threw it in our board and it came up as a great idea later on. And it's little things like that. And the last one on this slide is monthly budget reporting and forecasting. We have been very, very lucky to have a great finance team. They help us a lot in every area that you can think of. I'm excited, I say that a lot, but our finance team is fantastic. We have a bi-weekly meeting with them. And I would say the first 5 to 10 minutes, unless we have something very important, we're just chatting, getting to know each other, being able to build that relationship. Most of the FinOps team is remote where finance is on site, so we don't get that FaceTime that other people do. So that intentional cadence, those intentional touch points, and being personable. We're all here for the business, but how can you make finance's life easier? Just be able to talk to them, answer questions. They're people just like we are. They may have weird requirements and stuff inside of their own little world, but what it comes down to is we're all solving the same problem, potentially in a slightly different way. And takeaways, since I'm almost at time. The big one is find out what works for you. And that is an ongoing challenge, which leads into number 1, fail fast, fail forward. I know people want to put the negative connotation on fail, but I see it more as a challenge. Because if something doesn't work, yes, let's iterate. I want to know that it didn't work. And you continue on. And at some point, you may hit something where you need to pull back and reflect and, no, that was actually a really bad idea, but what did I learn from failing and from doing this exercise? And you're able to pull that into another project stream. Number 2, talk with your finance team. They are your friends. They not only know, as in my org, the little bitty spend that is the cloud, that is the giant financial landscape of the company. Because we can all look at our cloud spend and be penny sure and pound foolish, but finance is going to help you with that larger retrospective, larger look. Number 3, find the best way to drive accountability, and in that, we do top-down. Other people can do bottom-up or in the middle and out. And with that top-down, we have finance, our team, and the leadership work having those monthly budget reviews, having those monthly cadences. And number 4, know your team's capacity and throughput. This one is important. I picked up 3 projects in a 6-month period with contractors, and we ended up with about 2.25 of the total projects done because I got overwhelmed. And that's all. Thank you so much for your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Frank. Hey everyone, producer Andrew here. Thank you so much for watching and for your support. For more FinOps X 2025 content, go check out our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and leave comments and questions for all of our wonderful speakers. We appreciate your support.